We are here today to explain the Versailles Treaty and its faults, also to point out how it could be improved.
First off, I'm going to address the long-term causes for the conflict in Europe that resulted in World War I and the urgency to make the Versailles Treaty. To begin, alliances are a long-term cause of the war. Alliances cause countries to become aggressive towards each other based on other countries' opinions. This happened between Great Britain and Germany. Great Britain was friendly towards the French. The French and the Germans throughout history have been hostile towards each other. So when France and Germany started having conflicts again, Great Britain sided with France. This is how the alliance system drags countries into wars and is a long-term effect. Nationalism is a long-term cause of the war because it fueled imperialism. Imperialism was the European countries colonizing Africa because they wanted to have more land than all the other countries. This caused tension between the nations and competitiveness. Nationalism also caused the Balkan region to explode into war because the pride of the Serbs influenced them to call on Russia for support and caused conflict between Austria-Hungary and Russia. Militarization was also a long-term cause because when each country has a large military with nothing to use it on, it causes tension between countries. One way this happened was between Britain and Germany. The British Navy was the largest in the world at the time, and Germany decided to attempt to make a large navy as well under Kaiser Wilhelm II. This caused Britain to get frustrated with Germany and in long terms fueled conflict between them.
Next, I'm going to explain the many decisions that were made underneath the Versailles Treaty. Perhaps one of the most significant decisions made underneath this treaty occurred when Clause 231 was created. This clause was a document that held Germany accountable for all of World War I. This not only caused them to take responsibility, but it also forced them to pay for the reparations of war. I think the decision to make Germany take responsibility happens because they started the initial contact. Another reason this decision was made was to make Germany unable to start war again. Since they had so many reparations to pay, they were unable to support their economy and paid for the cost of war. Another significant decision made by the Versailles Treaty was to create a peace union. This union consisted of multiple allied countries. It was called the League of Nations. This league was set as a neutral party in order to reserve peace. While reserving peace, it also used to look after the benefit of all countries.
Now I'm here to address how the Versailles Treaty failed to recognize and address the three long-term effects that caused the war in the first place. Alliances was failed to be addressed in the treaty because the treaty itself was a treaty between America and Britain and France, known as the Big Three, because of its great leaders. With this treaty and the largest alliances, Germany felt that this treaty was treated poorly because it said no alliances and addressed that there would be no alliances, but here was an alliance of the three biggest enemies to Germany at the time. So Germany felt betrayed and felt that the treaty wronged them and didn't help them. Nationalism is addressed in this treaty because the Big Three in the League of Nations takes most of Germany's land and overseas territory, inflaming the nationalism in the hearts of Germans because they want this land so that their country can be strong and more superior to other countries. Now, if this land gone to the country of Germany they want to go to war more because they want their land back and they want to be the more superior country. Militarization is a long effect to the war because it was basically every country had a strong and large military, from Britain's strong navy to France's large number of soldiers. So with these strong armies, every country was ready to fight and win. With this assassination, every country went to war. But with the treaty only limited Germany to one small army and one small navy. Basically, every other country still had a strong army and still had a strong navy. So if there was another war to happen, every country would be ready except for Germany. So there still is a war, only without Germany.
Now I'll discuss how to make the Versailles Treaty better. First off, countries need to have no more secret treaties between one another. And then, countries must have their own opinions when it comes to conflicts between them. Like how Britain sided with France to be against Germany because France and Germany had long-term tensions. Next, let's talk about nationalism. Nationalism can be stopped by prohibiting imperialism and grouping people together with similar ethnic backgrounds. This can stop things such as what happened in the Balkan region. If Austria wouldn't have taken over some of the Balkan area, the Slavics would have gone all to Russia and all been grouped together, and it would have been good. The Treaty of Versailles must address militarization in ways such as no country should have large militaries, and each country should have the same amount of forces so no one feels threatened, and the want for war is eliminated. Our new Versailles Treaty is better than the original one because we address and solve the key components that are making the Versailles Treaty a faulty plan. For alliances, that was countries not having their own opinions. For nationalism, it was not grouping the right groups of people together. And for militarization, it was not having the same amount of forces for each country, so no country feels threatened.
Please consider our remediations in the Versailles Treaty.
Thank you for your time.